Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This week's video I'm going to be discussing why I personally have gone back to Animal Crossing New Leaf. As you can see, the first video on my channel was me talking about my problems with New Horizons, and while I don't think it's necessarily a bad game, I just think it's lacking severely in content. While a lot of people can argue that New Leaf has a hell of a lot less features than New Horizons, while that's true, I still overall think it's the better game. For me, an Animal Crossing game isn't all about the customization. Yes, it's a good feature, but the main focus of an Animal Crossing game to me is the villagers themselves. And in New Horizons, I speak about this in the video as well, it seems really shallow and it seems that they're the afterthought of the actual game itself. Whereas New Leaf, while the dialogue is a bit repetitive and definitely not as good as the previous games, it is still miles better than New Horizons. While the daily tasks that most of your villagers can ask of you are relatively the same, they're asking for new furniture or they want some fruit, it seems to be completely absent in New Horizons. They will only ping you if they have a reaction to teach you, or on a very rare occasion they'll ask you to deliver a parcel to another villager, whereas in New Leaf that happens every single day. And I just don't understand why that was taken out. I think that's pretty much the main reason why I've gone back. I feel like the interactivity in New Leaf is miles better in New Horizons, and it's something that really needs to be addressed by the developers. So another big thing about Animal Crossing is it works in real time, as we all know. But with starting a new file on New Horizons at the same day that I started a new file on New Leaf, I seem to have so much more furniture in New Horizons, and I've pretty much completed the design that I wanted for my island in New Horizons in less than a month. Whereas in New Leaf, I've barely got any furniture to fill my house. And that's something that keeps me coming back to the game. I want to fill my house, I want to make the village look as best as it can be, whereas New Horizons you're done in a month. I just don't think that New Horizons was built for the longevity of the average Animal Crossing player. Well, yes, in New Leaf, if you've got a friend that also plays it and has a full catalogue, you can go to their town and order everything from the catalogue there. But it does take a long time, and that's one of the main draws for me. That's what keeps me coming back every single day, to see what furniture's in the Nook store. Whereas New Horizons, I've got everything that's always in the Nook store because I've got a full island, I've got a full house, I've already paid everything off. The one thing I thought I wouldn't enjoy with going back to an older game is the visuals. I can see a lot of people disagreeing with me on this one, that New Leaf I don't think ever really looked that good. I don't think it really pushed the 3DS to what it was actually capable of. If you look at other games that came out later on in its life, like Pokemon Sun and Moon for example, the graphics on display on that game are miles better than what was achieved in New Leaf. Whereas New Horizons focuses on the graphics itself and looks incredible. But it's in the janky visuals that give New Leaf that kind of charm. The fact that floor tiles look ridiculous when they're put down compared to New Horizons, when it actually looks natural to put floor tiles down, whereas New Leaf, it looks ridiculous. It kind of gives your town that kind of special look that you've got an image in mind and you're making it that, despite the limitations of the hardware. Not only the visuals, but the soundtrack of New Leaf is by far miles ahead of New Horizons. There is a couple of songs in New Horizons that are great, but overall I'd say it's the weakest out of them all. My personal favourite soundtrack is actually Wild World, and I know a lot of people will instantly dismiss that. It wasn't the best Animal Crossing game, but it was my first and my most nostalgic. But I think the music of that game is particularly really good. Whereas with New Leaf, right from the start of when you start playing, generally I play quite early in the morning and last thing at night, the music is fantastic. You start off slow and then you build your energy up, and then by the end of the day it's winding you down. and it winds you down perfectly to finish the day. Whereas New Horizons, I do appreciate the fact that the further away you get from your town hall, you can barely hear the music because that's where the music is coming from. But sometimes it feels like it's a barren wasteland, that you're not hearing anything. You're hearing the waves, which is also good, but the music is practically a new character in Animal Crossing games that people love the music. The thing is, I know I'm not alone in thinking that. A lot of people, of long-standing fans of the series, think that the music in New Horizons is also lacking. But to give New Horizons its credit, there is one thing that I severely miss while playing New Leaf. The fact that you can decide where your villagers move into. When I started my new save file in New Leaf, I had some pretty decent house placements for the starter villagers, and then my first villager moved in, right in front of a ramp. And 3 weeks later, I'm still trying to get her to move away. I can't get her to move whatever I do. I'm just stuck with a house in front of a ramp, and it looks stupid. Overall, I'm really not trying to make people dislike New Horizons. Like I said, I do enjoy the game. I just think it's lacking, and yes, the updates will come, and it's probably going to overtake New Leaf for me in some time. But right now, it's just not, and I think I'm going to feel like this way for quite a while. And like I said, I'm not alone. I know some people also feel this way, which does suck. I mean, with new games, you want to move on to them, and you want to like them as much as you did the old games, but I'm just not there yet, and I don't know why. But hopefully sooner or later, I will see what everyone sees in the game, and I'll love it as much as I like New Leaf, but not this time. If there's one thing that I'd say to new fans of the Animal Crossing franchise that have come because of New Horizons, is pick up New Leaf. You can get either a 2DS or a 3DS secondhand for pretty cheap now, and New Leaf is part of the Nintendo Select section, so it's also pretty cheap. It's a really good game, and I think if you went back and played this one, you'd also really like it too. You'd see that it has some downfalls, but so does New Horizons. I would always recommend going back and playing the original GameCube Animal Crossing game, because it is completely different. Talking to the villagers is a different experience altogether. They were horrible, genuinely horrible to the player, and it's something that long-standing fans do actually miss, because from New Leaf onwards, they were very, very nice, and they weren't nice. They were actually awful. And like I said, a lot of people miss that. But anyway, that's all for the video. I just wanted to come on here and yet again make another rant about Animal Crossing. If you like the video, please like a thumbs up, and if you'd like to give me some feedback, just leave a comment down below. That is appreciated, and just like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Bye bye.